Hey, T-Bird fans, welcome to another episode of Top Shelf with GM Bil La Forge. Today, we're going to talk to Bill about our fourth-round Bantam pick, Connor Gourley from Alberta. Bill, first off, we picked Connor Gourley in the fourth round, our fifth overall pick. We didn't have a pick in the third round. What's the scouting report on Connor?
Connor's an extremely talented, extremely long player who has offensive instincts. We think his rate of development is going to be exceptional, and he's going to be a really good player for us going forward.
Connor, I believe, was at the development camp we had a couple of weeks ago up in Edmonton. How did he do up there? What did you see from his play?
I think Connor just reaffirmed what the scouts and I thought going into the draft. We really felt we got a first-round talent in the fourth round when we selected him, and he didn't do anything there to disappoint me. You know, Russ and I were sitting beside each other at one point, and Russ said, "You know what? If he was our first-round pick, I wouldn't be disappointed." And we felt that about a number of our players. So we're really excited, and hopefully, moving forward, we can get him into Seattle and get him in the lineup.
You mentioned getting him into Seattle. What's the process to recruit him, get him to sign with us? T-Bird fans, we've signed the first three picks in the Bantam Draft, and there's a process there, and there's obviously a process where you're talking to the family and talking to Connor. What are we doing on that front?
Yeah, we want to present our option just like we do with everybody. Present what we think, how we can help him get to the next level as an educated, student, as a hockey player, and as a person. We want to develop all those areas, and I think that our route will, really shine as we go down the line. And I think that he'll be excited to be a Thunderbird one day. That's the plan.
In the course of the draft, as I mentioned, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, no third-round pick. We picked Connor in the fourth round. When you're at the draft table with the scouts, with Cal, and you've made a couple of picks in each round, and then you have a round where you don't have a pick, do you approach the next round a little bit differently based off of what you might need or what the list is or players that have been selected previously? Just, I guess, a little insight on, you didn't have a pick in the third. How did you approach the pick in the fourth?
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time leading up to the draft, and Cal and Mark and the rest of the scouts spend a lot of time all year building that list. So we really focus on the list. I mean, I'll be honest, going into the fourth round, I didn't think Connor was going to be an option. But when he was still there, we just had to stick with the list and make sure that, he's a first-round talent available. I will make room for those guys.
Yes, we will. Connor, and looking at stats online, obviously in his first year Bantam, he played a couple of games, 4 or 5 games up as a with the second-year Bantam team, and then as a second-year Bantam, he played some games midget. He played 4 or 5 games in midget. Is that something when you're scouting a player and you see that he's playing a Bantam level, but then he plays up for some games? Is that something that speaks to the skill level of the player, and is that something that you see regularly?
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of affiliation for sure. I think that Connor has a lot of skill, and he's got a big enough frame that he can move up and down through age groups pretty easily. So I think that's something that it's a feather in his cap. Mm-hmm. But we'll see how it progresses going forward. We like everything we see there with him.
Thanks for joining us, Bill. Appreciate info on Connor Gourley. Bill will be at the NHL Draft here coming up shortly, and we'll have our next episode of Top Shelf after the NHL Draft. And in that episode, we're going to talk about our next Bantam pick.